Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving right into something so incredibly common, yet honestly so misunderstood. We're talking about the psychology of humor. I mean, we all love a good laugh, right? But what if the laughter we hear, or even the laughter we create ourselves, is actually serving a completely different purpose? Like, what if it's way less about joy and a whole lot more about defense? Let's get into the veiled wit, using humor as an emotional shield. I want you to really think about this for a second. Are you the funny friend because you're happy or because you're avoiding something? It's a pretty heavy question, isn't it? It hits right at the core of how we actually present ourselves to the world. So, starting off with section 1, the funny friend persona. We all know this person. Hey, maybe it's even you. Every single social circle has one. They're the life of the party, always quick with a joke, always ready with that perfect witty comeback to keep the mood super light and the energy high. And on the surface, this persona is incredibly attractive. I mean, we naturally gravitate toward people who make us smile, right? But let's look at this comparison here. Expressing genuine happiness versus, well, avoiding something. Society constantly sells us this myth that the endlessly joyful comedian, the person constantly cracking jokes, is just bursting with inner happiness. But actually, the reality drawn from the psychology of humor suggests something completely different. A lot of the time, this constant stream of jokes functions directly as an avoidance tactic. It's literally just a way to sidestep the heavier, more complicated things that life throws at us. Which brings us to section 2, hiding your true feelings. As we start peeling back the layers of this kind of like a psychological onion, we really start to see humor acting as a mask for true emotions. Behind that outward, loud projection of constant jokes, the individual is actively hiding. They're keeping their true, vulnerable feelings completely concealed from the outside world. It's honestly an incredible act of misdirection. Because think about it, if everyone's looking at the joke, absolutely no one is looking at the pain underneath. Moving right along to section 3, shielding from reality. So now that we know humor acts as a mask, how does a simple joke actually deflect real life? Well, it acts as an emotional shield. That's the act of protecting yourself from reality using humor. The source material we're looking at frames this perfectly. See, we aren't defining humor in this context as an expression of joy. Instead, it's an active, deployed emotional shield. It's basically a barricade used to protect yourself from having to face a harsh or even just a really uncomfortable reality. When reality gets a little too heavy, boom, the joke is deployed to push it away. Now, section 4, an artificial sense of value. Okay, we're going a bit deeper into the psyche now. We really have to ask ourselves what actually happens when a person successfully blocks out their reality using this shield. Like, what takes the place of those genuine and, perhaps painful human experiences? Let's break down the actual transaction taking place here. You avoid reality, you get laughs, and in doing so, you create an artificial value. By generating laughs, the funny friend literally replaces genuine emotional connection with applause. They trade being truly known for being temporarily liked. And this creates a completely artificial sense of value for that person. They feel valued just because they're funny, not because of who they actually are underneath the mask. And that takes us to section 5, unmet emotional needs. We finally reached the deepest, most vulnerable core of this whole behavior. This is where we actually uncover the root cause. Why does someone feel the need to build this shield and generate this artificial value in the first place? Let's trace this psychological cycle together. Step 1, emotional needs aren't being met. Step 2, an artificial sense of value is created to compensate for that. And step 3, humor is continually used to protect against the reality of those unmet needs. It's a pretty dense psychological loop when you look at it. The entire behavior, the jokes, the constant deflection, the super loud persona, it all stems directly from that very first step, the root cause of unmet emotional needs. Your emotional needs aren't being met. It's profound, honestly. Whether it's a need for genuine connection, a need to feel safe just being vulnerable, or even a need to be accepted without having to constantly perform, when those baseline human needs are ignored or unfulfilled, that humor shield goes right up. I really want you to think about what this means for you, or maybe for the funny friends in your own life. Like, what unmet needs are actually hiding behind their punchlines? And so, we come full circle. Are you the funny friend because you're happy, or because you're avoiding something? It definitely hits a little differently now, doesn't it? Armed with this new understanding of emotional shields, artificial value, and unmet emotional needs, this question isn't just some clever hook anymore. It's a mirror. So the next time you, or someone you love, uses a joke to deflect a serious moment, pause and ask yourself, what reality are we avoiding right now? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Until next time, keep looking beyond the surface.